morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Yuma Center for Spiritual Living. I think the gong is excited we're here. They must have picked up a lot of energy. We had the chair yoga here yesterday and singing bowls. Man, it's excited. I'm excited. I'm Reverend Darin, and welcome to Yuma Center for Spiritual Living. Everyone in person, everyone online. We are freshly washed, aren't we? Cleansed from this rain. I love how the physical, the natural, and the spiritual always align so beautifully. We had a wonderful cleansing rain. Everything's clean and fresh. And isn't that how it looks and feels in our spiritual practice? We come together to remember the truth, and when we do that, everything that is not us and meant to carry, for us to carry, gets washed away. And that's what we're doing here today. You've picked a wonderful Sunday to be here. It's Potluck Sunday. Also for the talk, I'll be doing an Ask Darin session. So think of your questions and we'll have a lot of fun there. And I'm just grateful you're here. And everyone on Facebook, think of your questions, post them, and Elia will read them and let me know. So welcome aboard. Let's stand up if you would like. Kick the service off in song.
Everybody. You are welcome here. 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 Our arms are wide open. There's room for everyone. Wherever you go and wherever you're from, you are whole. You are welcome here. 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 Whatever you've been through, you found us somehow. Wherever you are on your journey now, you are whole. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I am welcome here. I am welcome here. I am welcome here. We are welcome here. We are welcome here. Everybody. We are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here.
I love that song, especially on a Sunday when we're having potluck, when it's family coming together to sit around the table. You are welcome here. Welcome home. Welcome to family. A little secret, when the creative thought reader isn't able to make it, I sometimes say, well, I'll step in and do it. And I have a bunch of Holmes books that were left by Cal Summerchild, who has departed this plane. She was one of our past practitioners. So I love going through her books, which I have in my office, and seeing where she left her bookmarks. So this morning, let's see what Kat's chosen for us. This is from Living Without Fear by Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our tradition. What we wish for and need is peace, happiness, harmony, plenty, and a greater degree of livingness together with love and beauty. Possessing these, we should be in heaven, and we ought to be in heaven here and now in our daily living. That is, we should be in harmony with life. There is no power in the universe which wishes to withhold good from us. Let us forever wipe this idea off the slate of our minds. God is eternal goodness. Hence, no evil could ever befall us here or hereafter. Life cannot produce death. Consequently, we cannot die even though we pass through the experience miscalled death. But what is there left to ask for? Nothing. We need but to accept and make use of that which already is and is for us now. But each shall individualize the gifts of life through their own nature. And this individualization constitutes that activity which personifies through each of us the eternal mind of the universe. This is the play of life upon itself and the desire to express itself which is forever working through all of us. What then if we should desire something special that we might enjoy for a season? Can there be anything wrong with this? Certainly not if this desire harms no one and helps to express us. If then we desire something special, why should we not ask for it and receive it? But how do we ask? By knowing in our minds that for which we ask, we have now. This creates the image of our desire and makes a definite pattern through which the energies of mind may intelligently and lawfully act, and to which there may be attracted the conditions necessary for the fulfillment of our desire. And according to our belief, receptivity, and full acceptance, will it be done. We cannot live by proxy or attain by pretense. We are dealing with real laws and actual universal forces when we deal with mental and spiritual laws, and they cannot be fooled. From our own endeavor will come our own reward. Only now will we know that we are dealing with a law which is amply able to fulfill the rightful demands made upon it, and which is intelligent enough to always bring them to pass. With this in mind, we shall do our spiritual mind treatment work gladly and cheerfully, and with much less effort, for we are no longer struggling against life, but flowing along with it. We are going with the current and not against it. We should feel equal to any occasion and be overcome by none. We should enter any and all true endeavors with a zest for the game and get a real enjoyment out of living. So and to lead our friends of faith, Miss Elia. Thank you.
Good morning. May I have my lovely candle lighters, please? Thank you. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that people of all faiths and lifestyles, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as a path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as Desi lights the healing candle, please say silently, out loud, or put in Facebook comments the names of those you would like to hold in the healing flame of God's eternal love. And with our eyes closed and our hearts open, we recognize that there is one power in the universe. It is the power of love. It is the power of God. And as we recognize this oneness, we know we are one with God, and so therefore we are one with love. We radiate our love within ourselves, to each other, and to the world. And so we affirm the highest and best for ourselves and for all. We affirm health, prosperity, and joy for ourselves, our loved ones, and even those who we don't know. We affirm peace within our hearts, within our bodies, and within our minds. And so we center ourselves in love, we cultivate peace, and we affirm that we all remember our oneness with God, our oneness with love. I am grateful to know this truth for all, that we are all loving spirits. We let go of this affirmation and we let God, knowing the universe is saying yes to our affirmation. And so it is.
So it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Hello again. I sure love when I get to do one of my Ask Rev Darin sessions, because it is a celebration and a reminder that we are a spiritual tradition where asking questions isn't just okay, it's encouraged for us to have our own individual understanding of what truth is. What do we believe? How does that work? How can we do it in greater and better ways? And I got to thinking, I know we're not the only ones, but I wanted to know who else out there, what other traditions, what other religions also honor question asking, where the leaders want their people to ask questions. And the internet gave me an answer. Sanatana Dharma. I was quite impressed. I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but I read about them and I loved it. They're an encouragement of asking questions, of a spiritual inquiry that takes the student to a deeper place. and I wanted to learn more about them. And I was tickled to find, I thought, well gosh, who are these people and where are they? And I realized they're right here. I didn't have to look very far. They're the third candle. Sanatana Dharma is a modern name for Hinduism. I thought, how interesting. All along, every Sunday during the Flames of Faith we just did, to honor Hinduism. And what was the first word? Knowledge. Because I believe, that it doesn't matter how much information's out there, unless we know it, embody it, can understand it and benefit from it, it doesn't work. I love how the Hindus, and I knew that Hinduism was kind of the term outsiders put onto that religion, and Sanatana Dharma is now what the followers kind of call themselves, that they see doubt as a gateway. That's the word they use. That doubt is actually a sincere questioning, a sincere wanting to understand. And that it's not only okay for the students to have a doubt and to have questions, but that the gurus actually encourage this. So if you've ever read the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads, you've seen this. In those old writings from the Hindus, there's a question-answer format. I'm like, well, that sounds familiar. I like that. And Arjuna, the historic character in those writings, directly asking questions of God. So why can't we do that? To have our own personal inquiry. And with the Hindus, I love this, that they say questioning takes us from blind faith to a deep and personal understanding. So let's be Hindu this morning. Let's ask questions. I love this. And for everyone online too, I hope you join in. What this is a chance to ask questions about science of mind, about spirituality. And the beautiful thing is people say, well, what if you don't know the answer? I will say so, and I'll find it for you. I think that is real, honest sincerity. You know, my treatment before this is always to open up for God, for Spirit, for the universe to speak through me. So see what questions come forward. We have a few rules of the road. We want to ask one question at a time, kind of make it brief, more question, not a lot of story, and we'll have a great time. And if you post your questions on Facebook, Miss Elliott will see them. So let us practice questioning. Let us practice individual conscious exploration. And we have Leonard and Sherry with their microphones. They'll come to you so that everyone online can hear you. And I'll assume the throne, the hot seat. Not that throne. Eleanor, kicking it off with Eleanor, who always asks good questions.
Well, last time I missed it. Yes, how do you see or perceive Jesus?
Jesus, well, Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our tradition, is hanging on the wall. Oh. Dr. Holmes, the founder of our tradition, is over there on the wall. Dr. Holmes called Jesus the wisest man who ever lived. The master teacher. You know, sometimes people say, well, you guys aren't Christian, you must not love Jesus. And look at any of the writings from Holmes, and you're going to see Jesus referenced, and Jesus' teachings. The teachings, there's a big difference, kind of sometimes between the teachings and kind of what shows up these days. Jesus was very much venerated by Holmes. But here in Science of Mind, we say that Jesus wasn't the great exception, but the great example. People miss that. Jesus was saying, hey, look at me. I'm an example of who we all are. That we're all perfect, whole, and complete spiritual beings. God is within me. God is within you. You can do what I can do. And unfortunately, in our humanness, especially through history, people kind of thought, well, Jesus is doing things only he can do. That it's supernatural and different. So in Science of Mind, because of Dr. Holmes, we see Jesus as the great example of love, of peace, of brotherhood and sisterhood. The true teachings of Jesus. What did he say? What did he do? And Jesus always, and it's there in the Bible, points back to us. You're looking for God, look to yourself. For God in us, moving through us. And I love that. And that's empowering. And it's a beautiful understanding of who Jesus not just was, but Jesus is. We talk about the Christ consciousness. Sometimes we're out here, we're looking for everything on the outside. And Science of Mind says, if you're looking for Jesus, look within to find that peace, that acceptance. I love how Jesus was so communal, his pack of friends, and then all the followers. And maybe that's what we're being called to do is, when we're inspired by Jesus, to remember our community, remember the people around us, to be safe and still and peaceful, a safe space for people to want to come and be around. That's who Jesus is, the great example, taking us forward. And to me, that feels good. How does that feel, Eleanor? Good? Yeah. Excellent, thank you. And I apologize for any puzz. I'm not used to speaking into microphones. They say to hold it like an ice cream cone, but like this. Who's next? Oh, Petronella in the back.
Hello. I don't know how close to hold it. Okay, so every once in a while I like to have an existential crisis, and we're in. So one of the things that has been circulating in my brain over the last week and a half is we teach that God is seeking to experience through us. Okay, and we also teach that God is omnipotent, and that there's no duality. And so I'm having a hard time understanding how God could be seeking anything, because that would mean wanting, and how he could be, or not he, but how God could be omnipotent but still have a lack in order to seek. So I'm having a hard time with all of that. So spot on with Ask Reverend Darin today.
Only a universe-wide question. That's not big. I like that though, and it's interesting. And for people maybe who couldn't hear maybe online, the difference between if we talk about wholeness and peace and the beauty of God, and then we turn on the news, and that's not what we see. And I think I probably share this a little bit each time we talk. People ask, well, when people make bad decisions and are unkind and maybe even cruel, which quality of God is that? And it's freedom. And we might need to take a breath on that, but it is that we are made to be so free that we have the choice of what we bring into our lives. That we get to choose how. This is weird talking with this. Can you hear me without it? Yeah, there we go. I'll just try to talk loudly. I'll just sit at the edge of my throne. Thank you. That we come into this world with that perfect divine template within us. And it's the job and the joy of our spiritual journey to uncover that through our spiritual practice. But in that freedom, we're given the choice to be lost. We're given the opportunity and the freedom to make choices that don't bless us and don't bless others. So that's where the disparity comes from. That's where it looks like a lack of unity. It looks like a duality. There's the peace that we could be bringing into the world, but there's what we're really doing. There's the wholeness and the connection and the kindness of what's within us that we could be embodying and sharing with the world. And then there's the choices that we're making. So what I love is when I'm in an existential crisis, or the world seems to be in one, is to remember that that divine template has not changed. Nothing that happens in the human experience can dim the light of God, can break the beauty of peace, can drain out the love of the universe. It is always there within us, as us, waiting for us to let it through, waiting for us to embody it in our choices and our decisions, and not just for our lives, but the lives of everyone. So I take comfort in that no matter how much this, just like the storms over the weekend, no matter how much the wind howls, no matter what happens, that we are whole and safe and complete and secure. So just like when we say, let peace begin with me, I think when we see the world forgetting its wholeness, forgetting its peace, forgetting its love, instead of getting caught up in that, and instead of giving up our spiritual practice, we lean into it more. Lean into it, not just for our own comfort, but for the world. That if we remember and hold still and fast to what we believe, the inherent goodness of people, and the potential for any situation to become better and more beautiful for us and for the world, we are helping to change the world. We are helping to make the world a better place. We're revealing that light within us that is within everyone, like we always say during our prayer for treatment, that God is present everywhere and that we consciously reveal it. That sounds like maybe a little bit of mystic mumbo jumbo, but it's true that we remember the truth of ourselves. And since we're all connected, I love this. We're all connected, we're all one, and if something's true in one place, it's true everywhere. So that we, when we reveal that peace and stillness in our hearts, can reveal that for everyone else. And to remember what our Buddhist friends teach, all those wonderful fun things will go away and become a new form. That's the bad news. The good news, all this stuff that we think is so real and is so front and center and so big and so powerful will also go away and take a new form. That's where we come in with our affirmations. Like I said this morning in meditation, if everything's up in the air, everything seems like it's flying around, then it means everything is loose and able to fall into a new calculation. Everything is able to fall down in the perfect way, in the perfect time for us. So if things seem like there's kind of a flurry of a storm out there, let's know that we can choose what that next day will be like, the next chapter, the next experience. And it begins with us calming the storm within ourselves, which is a beautiful gift, and something I know you do well. Thank you, Petronella. Thank you. Anybody online? Not yet? They're being quiet and shy online. If Kathy Quinn's watching, Kathy has good questions. We don't practice guilt or shaming. That was hinting. Yes. Oh, Jesse, yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So my question has changed a number of times after hearing what you had to say about the other questioners' questions. And my question is about, I don't know, the people or the formula, something for the spiritual mind treatment of the people who make up a goodie list and then don't understand why it hasn't arrived by DoorDash, and the ones who say, well, I manifested mine, so when is it somebody's manifesting it themselves, and when someone else is wondering why their goodies haven't arrived?
Goodies, okay, now that's interesting, and I was actually just chatting with this about somebody yesterday. The science of mind can help us to manifest goodies. Now, cars and stuff and coats and hats and all that good stuff. But what it's really meant to do is to manifest that which is within us. Again, like we were just talking about, if that divine template of peace, love, joy, health, and wholeness is within us, and it's not showing up in our lives, that's what we use our 5-step affirmative prayer to bring about, to help us be in more alignment with who we are and the life that we could have, not just goodies. I think that's interesting. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a conscious choice of what we are experiencing. And while saying that, it's so easy to look at how it's showing up for somebody else. What do they have? What do I not have? How are things showing up for them? How are they not showing up for me? And as soon as I do that, I'm stepping outside of my own power. I'm stepping outside of my own alignment, and I'm looking at the other guy. I always think there's no other guy except for when we're driving. Watch out for the other guy there. But when it comes to our spiritual work, there is no other guy. As Emerson said, and Emerson was one of the favorite writers of Dr. Holmes, that imitation is suicide. That we would be trying to imitate somebody else or compare ourselves to somebody else, that we are stepping out of who we are. We're we're dishonoring ourselves. So it's not about just getting goodies. Gosh, at first people learned this teaching for the joke is parking spots and princes. Well, that's not bad. There's another P, but I can't remember what it is. Because once you've learned that and see how it works, along comes a crisis. And you learn how to use it to breathe through an experience, to call in healing and transformation and guidance for a new experience. And then we realize that the goodies, it's something of the heart, something of the mind, something of true spiritual substance. And we're called to look at ourselves and what we're doing. Because this is where the only one writing my script is myself. There's no one else to blame, no one else to credit. And my work is my own, to not compare to anyone else, but to support each other. And for everyone to have a safe, inspirational space for their own path. As they say, we're walking each other home, but not to count the other person's goodies, but only to see kind of how we're showing up and how we're doing in our own spiritual journey. Thanks, Jessie.
You're welcome.
Ma'am. Witters.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Pretty good.
How are you doing?
It's been a week.
Okay.
I'm looking for ideas. I find myself watching the news, and I feel obligated to watch what's going on because I have an obligation spiritually for myself to feel informed, because you can't buck what you don't understand. But with that comes little despairs through the day. And getting past one despair and keeping going with the rest of the day can be hard. Do you have any tips, tricks, grounding procedures that you can do throughout the day when you've hit a brick wall or you've watched something that just wrecks your heart and you need to cleanse and keep going?
Very good question. Very good question, because, and I've shared this before, I have a kind of some of my fellow ministers will say, turn off the news and don't read the newspaper. And I'm a former journalist, and I really believe in information. But isn't there a balance? Isn't there a little bit of a dance there? Because it has to work for us. There's that meme of my how does it go? My wish to be well informed is going against my wish to also be sane, So, but what's coming to mind is when we know there's a storm out there. Here's what's perfect. This place, all the blinds are down. So when I'm here and I hear the wind howling and I hear stuff outside, I think, okay, there's a storm. I need to have information. So I do a little peek out. I don't open the door. I open the shade and give a little bit of a look. And I think sometimes with the news of what's going on, it is good for us to know what's going on, because Science of Mind doesn't teach us to ignore what's happening out here. What are we manifesting in our individual lives? What we see is evidence of what we're creating on the inside. So when we ask ourselves, how are we doing? How's my spiritual path going? Well, what's showing up? And what I see that doesn't work, what doesn't feel right, which doesn't work for me, okay, here's a reminder. I go within and I adjust and remember, and it's my spiritual practice of meditation and prayer work. But readers, you ask about the world, man, that's a group experience. And we can be really, really clear, and others may not be. So what I think is wonderful is to be able to the degree that works for us, to turn on the news, to see what's going on out there. Reverend Michael Beckwith, one of our famous ministers, said the newspaper is our prayer list. Bring that into our work. Like we said earlier, if there's chaos and craziness out there, let's know and affirm that that's temporary, that's powerless on its own, and it will change. And to bring that into our practice. And we can do that and really kind of uplift ourselves. But when something comes through that is so hurtful, and like you said, that really takes a strike at the heart, it is never selfish to take care of yourself. Because when we care for ourselves, if we're all connected, if our country, our world is the sum of our individual parts, if we're wounded and hurt in that moment, that's kind of what we're giving toward the sum. We deserve to be able to take a break, pull the curtain down, and to go within and be kind to ourselves. Because just the simple act of kindness for our own psyche to hear, I'm worth this, I'm okay, I'm worth some comfort and some peace. What a beautiful message to send ourselves. And it's not, people say, oh gosh, are we going to put our head in the sand? No, but taking some time off, closing that curtain again, knowing what's happening out there, and turning within and taking care of ourselves, that's okay. That's never being selfish. And again, it helps the bigger picture. We say, God, I want to help the world. We do by caring for ourselves. Because especially you have a beautiful, beautiful heart, and the world needs that. The world is better for that. Your kindness and your generosity, how you take everyone in. I know that. And you get to and kind of have to take care of yourself first. Because you're not going to stop loving everybody. You're not going to stop making the world a better place. It's your nature, and that's beautiful. And you get to take some time off to take care of ourselves and to turn to our spiritual practice. People sometimes think our spiritual practice is work, but gosh, it's comfort. It's to let go of that load, because we are carrying too much sometimes. When we see something, we hear about it, to be able to not have it on our shoulders, to not have that in our heart. And what's beautiful to remember is that we aren't making anything better by carrying somebody else's weight. We aren't making anything better by taking somebody else's pain and putting it within us. That's like a doctor removing a tumor and saying, okay, into my own body it goes. It doesn't help anyone else, and it certainly doesn't help us. So that spiritual self-care, and it's okay to put down the newspaper, turn off the TV, and watch some Bugs Bunny. And to remember all is well. And just to bring ourselves back, and let the boat right itself again. Let our inner seas calm again. And meditation, our spiritual practice, very grounding. Because we're meant to be grounded. We really are hooked and equipped for that. It's that, ooh, and this is what I wanted to say. We see what's going on in the world. Can you imagine if I lifted those curtains and I saw the stuff flying by and the wind and this and the trees, and you get hypnotized by it, don't you?
Yeah.
And you get to thinking, and you can't not look. You can't look away. We get hypnotized by it. So whatever we see in the world, it really is happening. Holmes would say it's a fact, but it's not a truth. It can change. It will change. But let us not look so long that we get hypnotized. Pull down the curtain, take a break, and turn to our practice, and to take care of our precious heart. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Fresnel.
What percentage of humanity will it take to achieve world peace? I don't see 100% of the people actually saying, yes, we want peace. What's the critical mass? Like, what does it take for enough of us to just change it anyway?
And that's beautiful that you asked that, because there have been endeavors, and I'm sure people have heard this before, campaigns around the world that if we get enough people meditating about peace, if we get enough people wanting it, that there would be a quantum shift. And I mean, first, I'm bad at math. When she started off, what percentage? I thought, oh boy, it's a story problem, and I'm in trouble. But what's interesting is I think it takes fewer of us than we would think. Everyone, I like to put positive spins on negative stuff. People say, oh, one rotten apple spoils a bunch. Well, one peaceful apple uplifts the basket. Peace is contagious. It's really who we are, and it's what we all want. Even the people out there causing chaos, they're kind of momentarily confused. If they can feel our peace, I think they'll want it more for themselves. So can it be contagious? Yes. Can we make a difference through our own peacemaking? Yes. And are we called to do it? I think yes. And what percentage of the world does it take? I don't know. But it doesn't have to be everybody. And that we're always leaning toward that, always lifting our consciousness that we can experience that. You hear people will say, well, peace is impossible. Well, there went their vote. Or there's never going to be peace in some parts of the world. Well, okay, there goes their vote. As long as we're saying those things, it will be true. For us to want peace. And to remember, it's not, I say this a lot on Sundays, it's not some poetic notion. Peace is for us all to be able to live the way we wish in freedom. To not be bothered, for us to be safe, for our needs to be met. That seems pretty easy, doesn't it? That we can do it. And again, it begins with us. Do we know that's possible? Are we being peaceful? And it is possible. But what percentage? I'm not sure. But it's not 100. I don't even think it's 50. Because the power and the light, think of what one light bulb can illuminate and shine. As each of us makes the decision that peace is within us, peace is the potential of everyone, and it can be revealed, it can be chosen, and it can be experienced. Why not all of us make that decision and bring that into our conscious daily spiritual practice? Everyone watching online, what a shift we would make in our homes, our lives, our workspaces, our play spaces, our community, and the world. It ripples out from there. And it's rippling out from you, Fernell. You're a peacemaker. And you're humble. That's why she had a surprised look on her face. So thank you for the work that you do. And may we all make that decision. Because peace is waiting for us to make the decision. People say, well, when's it going to happen? It'll happen when we believe it and embody it and allow it to come through. So let's say yes. Say yes.
So it is.
Anyone online?
No, but I have one.
Oh, Ellie has one. Please, front and center.
I'll speak into the camera so it's not too loud. What would you say to people who believe in a higher power or are curious about a higher power, but are carrying religious trauma from at some point in their lives, childhood or at some point in their lives?
And we experience that a lot. And this isn't to talk badly of other religions in the world, but a lot of people come through this door having been on many paths, come from many different traditions, many churches, synagogues, temples, whatever, and they've been hurt by religion. And that hurts me to think of that, because religion, spirituality, this is in your heart, in your soul, it's in your mind, it's in your body, so its blessings are going to be tremendous. And its pain can be tremendous. The hurt can be tremendous. So when I tell people who've had a rough experience with religion before, I say, well, first, good news, this is a house of spirituality, not a place of here are these fundamental, strict rules. Get them right or suffer. That there's only one way. And often in religion, in those setups, that God is stern and one of punishment. I think that's where a lot of that trauma has come from. That people feel hurt or judged or rejected by God itself. That's a pretty traumatic experience. So I would tell someone that welcome to a place of spirituality where God is a loving, peaceful, whole, joyous presence, not a person. Just this weekend, I was handing out this thing called You, the Ernest Holmes book, and I'd say to people who were new, they're here for chair yoga, when you read God, it means good orderly direction, not some dude on a cloud waiting to get you with lightning. We have such a different experience. So I think, and I've seen that, I've experienced that, to come here and to find out that there's a God that's on my side, that's right here, that's in me as me, just that realization begins the healing of the trauma. And that's a healing that deserves to be done. And that's a reminder that we're all called to create a safe spiritual space for people, that we don't add to that in our lovingness and in our acceptance and our namaste consciousness of seeing God within each other, anyone who comes here with religious trauma can become healed and can have their own concept of God. I know a lot of people who say, well, I don't believe in God, and I'll say, well, what does God look like to you? Well, the guy on the throne. I'm like, well, neither do we, you know. And so that a person gets to have their own concept of God, just like in 12-step programs. I love that. Your higher power as you understand it. And to get to have that personal relationship. I think that's the big thing. That really heals things. That it's not, getting to God, that angry God, through a priest or a minister or a rabbi or anybody. It's your personal, direct relationship. And it's loving, and it's warm, and it's peaceful, and it's conspired for your own good. And that's how that trauma can heal. It deserves to heal, to love that person and support that person. And for us, when we know somebody who's had religious trauma, to let them share their story, to let them externalize that, and to ask, what do you believe? Religion tells you what to believe. Again, here we ask, what do you believe? How do you approach life? How do you reveal the sacredness in your own life? What helps you be grounded? What helps you find the peace within you? To give them the power. That's our job here. People say, well, what should I do? Have you asked yourself? Have you asked your own higher power? Have you asked God within you? That is healing, to be empowered and to be told and reminded that they are precious, that they are worthy, and that they're deserving of all the love and all the peace and all the spiritual goodies that life can offer them. That is healing. And that's what I would want for them. I want them to know. Thank you.
I had a question.
Yes.
I wanted to add something for Burnell. The percent is 3.5% of America that needs to make a change.
3.5%.
330 million people here.
We got this.
So 3.5%. So we got to start trying.
Thank you. Did you just look that up, or did you already know that? She already knew that. Well, I think Julie needs to be up here. 3 point what percent?
3.5%.
3.5%.
330 million of our country needs to make the change to make something happen.
So a drop in the ocean is all it takes for us to know the truth and for that to ripple out and to uplift. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that optimistic? Right. For us to remember, whatever tool helps us to get there, to remember, there we are. Small number. Anna.
So we've talked a little bit about community, and you've made some statements about kind of what we're called to do, and there are a lot of religious traditions that have, kind of like, oh, we're called to take care of the sick, we're called to take care of the poor. I'm curious, what are we called to do? Like, is there a specific list that kind of guides us on what we owe to each other in the community and how we can live together in a more humane, bringing heaven to earth, basically? That's another one of the things that we say is heaven on earth. So I guess that's my question is, what are we called to do?
So do you mean individually, or as Yuma said, for spiritual living, or science of mind, or humanity?
I guess
Which
it's
level?
Me too. Wow. I know, it's a big question.
That's a good one. It's a great one.
Sometimes in science of mind, there's such an emphasis on our individual experiences and praying for ourselves, which is great. Getting whatever tangible good that we need or healing that we personally need. My question is, I guess, because we can only control ourselves, so on an individual basis, how can we best serve our community, and what are we called to do to help bring about that heaven on earth? That's one of our core values.
I love that, heaven on earth. And this is something that just really keeps becoming more and more clear to me. Some people will turn to spirituality learn the tools, learn the truths, heal themselves, have a better life. Done. and then I'm like, well, what about everybody else? I have one friend, hopefully they're not watching. Well, screw them, everybody else. I'm like, well, what? No, our brothers, our sisters, we're connected, the greater spiritual family, and there's almost like this selfishness, and you're missing the next page. Turn the page, turn the page. If we know this for us, we want to know it for everyone else. And again, that divine blueprint, that template, that we are all God consciousness, that what we believe to be true for us, we believe to be true for everyone else. So I think it's beautiful that we include that in our spiritual work, that my joy being revealed is also the joy being revealed for everyone, and that everyone be able to have the life that they choose to have. Again, that freedom, that openness to have the life that they want to experience, to bring everybody else in. What's interesting is we're not called to do any one thing. Like, we want people to show up this way. We want people to live this way. It's really to know their freedom and to know their peace, and to want to create that community like this sanctuary, a place for people to be able to come and to find themselves, to waken up to their own spiritual magnificence. And what's beautiful is there's no list, because they get to do that in whatever way that works for them. But first, I think, to do our own good work and to shine that out, to be a good example, and for people to feel safe with us, to know that they can grow, that they can bloom, they can find their own magnificence and blossom, and to be kind and to provide a safe space for people. I grow little miniature African violets, and they're very, very particular about their growing conditions. Well, we have that too. We can't grow, our people around us can't grow if they don't feel safe around us, if they don't feel that they can't show up as their authentic selves. Because there's so much within people, within ourselves, wanting to be spoken and to be healed. But if we're not living authentically, it just gets pushed back down. So I love that you're thinking at a global level. Because it's true, Science of Mind is focused on us, radical self-responsibility. But what are we doing now that we know the truth of ourselves for our community, for our world? Are we bringing everyone into our spiritual practice? Because we can. Science of Mind knows that God knows no difference between big and small. Like during Flames, I'll say, this person, that person, everyone here. Well, everyone who's ever been here. Well, everyone who's coming here. Everybody. Why not? It's like going to the infinite restaurant where you can order everything. And why not? When we're praying, we can pray for one person or include everyone. It's unlimited consciousness, unlimited love, and we're called to do that. We're called to share that. And in our individual ways, if we're not sure how to do that, turn within and ask, and we'll get an answer of how Spirit can show up through us as a beneficial presence in this world. Let's include everybody. Let's take this challenge to reveal peace in ourselves and to know it's true and real for everybody in the world. And to wrap up our talk, stay curious. Keep asking. When you don't know, close your eyes, open your heart, and go within and ask for that guidance from God. What is the best way for me to go? What am I being called to release? What is the truth of me? What is the truth of the situation? I often ask, what are my next steps? What am I called to do for my highest good and the highest good of everyone involved with me? Let's lean into our spiritual work, and let's open the curtain, see what's going on out there, and know that no matter what we see out the window or on the news or in our lives, it can change, it will change, it can shift, it will shift, and it will be in our favor if we make that choice. And I know we do, and we do it beautifully. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you. Ooh, let's close our eyes, open our hearts, and let's do what we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes. Let's remember the goodness of life. Let's remember that God is a power and a presence unchanged by human experience. God is high, pure consciousness, never confused, always whole, being love and illuminated light. God is the highest potential for what we can be. God is all the perfect ingredients of life within us, waiting for us to discover them. So I'm grateful to know this morning that I am a divine child of God, made by God, of God, and absolutely everyone here in this room, watching on Facebook, everyone and everything in this universe is God manifest. Here in this life experience, with the job of remembering our wholeness, our completeness, remembering that we are love, joy, and peace. And that's what we get to experience when we remember our truth. So I seek my word that our hearts and our minds have heard truth this morning and are opening to receive more, for more of life to happen through us, again in the ways that uplift us and serve us, all in the perfect timing of what serves us and uplifts us. At the core of our being is that still sea of absolute wisdom, knowledge, love, and light. And this is rippling out from us, that place of perfect peace, and is showing up in every breath, every thought, every cell of our bodies, and every step in this spiritual journey. We are uplifted by remembering that life is conspiring to support us and love us. We are indeed in a beautiful universe, a beautiful world, and in remembering this, our lives are lifted up and transformed in every way that serves us. I am just grateful to know this about myself, about everyone here, about this entire universe of oneness. Truth is revealed right now, and our experience is transformed and uplifted in every way. And I celebrate this, and I ask you to join me in celebrating this by saying together, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Elliot. Thank you, everyone online too. Thank you.
Spirit is with me grace fills me now. I don't walk alone.
No matter what I call it, no matter what I believe, I know that when I'm hurting, if I ask, I will receive. The love that I am needing, the peace within my soul, I can surrender and let go.
I don't walk alone. Spirit is with me always. Grace fills me now. I don't walk alone. I don't walk alone. Spirit is with me always. Grace fills me now. I don't walk alone.
Never alone, never alone. I am never, ever alone. Never alone, never alone. I am never, ever alone. I am never, ever
That was awesome. Let's give them a big hand. And now is our time of conscious giving. If we can prepare our gifts for the center, whether that's whatever form it is, we use our phones to give through Square. Let's hold it to our hearts and let's say our affirmative giving blessing together. It's on the screen. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Ready for the Benny?
You have it.
Everybody. You can even stand up.
My money is like a bunny. It goes forth and multiplies. I send it out and let it go. It comes back to me in time. My joy is overflowing. I know God is my source. My money is like a bunny. It goes forth and multiplies. My money is like a bunny. It goes forth and multiplies. I send it out and let it go. It comes back to me in time. My joy is overflowing. I know God is my source. My money is like money. It goes forth and multiplies.
Thank you. I love that humor. Because why can't we laugh? Why can't we have fun when we know that life is good, including our needs being met? Money and all good coming to us. It's a blessing. Thank you for everyone for your gifts. Thank you everyone online. You can go to YCSL.com and to give safely and securely, and we appreciate your support. Saying that, I love to say, it's amazing how much support comes through the Square app from people who not only don't live in Yuma, but who've never stepped foot in this spiritual center. They watch on Sundays, they see what else we offer, they're uplifted by it, they're benefited by it, and they bless us. So thank you to everyone who does that. To know that our walls, really thanks to the pandemic. Before the pandemic, we filmed once in a while, we put the camera up, but it was the pandemic that taught us the power and just the worth of having our electronic online ministry, so I'm grateful for that. Thank you to everyone. And for our announcements, the first thing has no slide. I realized we share our building with the Jewish community. On Thursday, they're going to be celebrating Yom Kippur in this room and in the next room. So Thursday meditation will take place in the office. So I'll have the lights down, I'll have it full of candles and beautiful music, I'll have look for the curtains to be up so that you can see that's happening in there. So just a little reminder, if you're coming for Thursday meditation, this week we'll meet in the office. If you come in here, you're gonna get some High Holy Day Torah, which would be great too, a little bit of Yom Kippur, but if you're looking for Thursday meditation, instead of the front room, it'll be happening in the office. So for our slides, okay, I just talked a little bit about our filming and how many people are blessed by what we do. Elia, do you have a few words?
For the camera?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about the camera, yeah. Just as a reminder, I shared with the board, we are followed by more than 2,000 people on Facebook. That's an incredible presence of people who are following us, and that's just to show how important the camera team and people like Elia are who allow this to happen.
Thank you. So just as a reminder, once we go live, the camera, the audio on the camera does capture everything around the area. So if you're having a private conversation, just know it might be live streamed on Facebook. So if you see that, it's streaming, and we will put the filming in progress behind the chair, so that way you know once the camera's on, the audio is on, and it's live streaming. So if you don't want your conversation to be captured and shared throughout, the 2,000 followers that we have, just be mindful of that. But I think that's it for the camera.
And to give the camera person space, because they've kind of got to move and follow us. So I just want to thank you for being a camera operator, and anyone who's helped us with the camera, if you could stand. Who's run the camera before? Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. It's a lot of people. Thank you. Thank you. It reminds me of my reporter days. I would say, hey, let me into this meeting. Let me be here. I represent thousands of people. And each of you who runs a camera represents thousands of people. Through your eyes, the whole world can watch what we do. They can be part of this and be uplifted by it. And part of our community, not just watching us, but being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Really. And it's Sunday potluck, perfect day to be here. If you didn't bring anything, no worries. We always have tons of food, so we'll be serving out in the picking out in the family room here a little bit later. And board news. By the amount of time Ellie is up here, it shows you how busy she is. I should have had that. I should have just kept you up here.
I should have stayed here. Just wanted to give you a couple of updates. We are doing regular ongoing maintenance on the building now, thanks to Patty. One of our board members. So it's been things from like changing the filters to fixing the light, a lot of things, little or big, around the center. So we are staying on top of the maintenance. That's one of the things that we're doing, one of the many things that we're doing. Another thing that we wanted to share is all of you, in person and even online, you provide love offerings, you tithe to our center. And so we use that to do the upkeep for the center, to organize events for the center, but we also share that love with other organizations, individuals, and centers. And so every month we tithe to CSL, so for Centers for Spiritual Living, and then we also select an organization or an individual or community that we can tithe to. So just wanted to share the last 2 tithes that we completed. In July, we tithed to Next Gen, and Next Gen works with youth. I believe it's 18 to 35-ish is what they describe, the 35-ish. But these are people that are interested in ministry or interested in leadership within CSL. And so Next Gen helps them build those tools. They have a retreat that they do every year. And so we sent our tithe in July over to them. And in August, very excited about this, we're tithing to CSL Kenya. So when I was at the retreat in Banff, some of the people that received awards were 2 youth based out of CSL Kenya, youth that are committed and dedicated to being a minister or just to going on that leadership path for CSL. And so they organize a conference as well. They have their conference. I believe it's called, like, I wrote it down, maybe.
Heart of Africa.
Heart of Africa, yes. So they have their conference in 2027. So for August, we decided that we wanted to tithe to CSL Kenya because we want to support a growing community, especially because it's young people that are pushing that movement in Kenya. So we're very excited to be able to contribute to that. And
real quick, CSL Kenya also operates a school for children who live in the slums of Nairobi, and it's based on the Science of Mind principles. Isn't that wonderful?
yeah. So if anybody wants to go as well to Kenya 2027, let us know. And then two more things, just a reminder that, what was it? Oh, that we've shared on here that we are Yuma Center for Spiritual Living, but as part of that, we are part of a larger community as well for Centers of Spiritual Living. And so it's great to connect with people that are part of other centers. And they put together trainings, they put together online webinars, events, talks. And so we'll be sharing more of that as we go on. There is one in October. I believe it's called Elder Speak.
Yes, yeah.
And that will be live streaming on, it might be on Zoom.
We'll bring it onto the big screens.
So we'll share the date, we'll share the time, and then whoever's interested in coming, we can all come together and watch that live. But we will be sharing more events and things like that from CSL. That way we remember that it's not just us here in Yuma, it's a worldwide community. And the last thing, we are accepting ongoing board applications. So the board applications never close. If you are interested in leadership and being part of the board, you're always welcome to submit an application. We have physical applications, and then we have the digital one that you can complete the form. We are working on like a board handbook, on training. We're doing a strength-based coaching with Keith coming up soon. So I'm very excited for that. So if you're interested in just developing your leadership skills, if you're interested in contributing to the center from a larger perspective and getting more involved with the finances of the center and the planning and the organizing and all of that, I do invite you to let one of the board members know. If you can raise your hand. So Patty, I'm looking.
Sorry.
So you can let any one of the board members know if you're interested or if you have any questions. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Elia.
Thanks,
Our
Elia.
Madam President. Excellent. Thank you. Our new class, of course, is coming up. No, what? The next speaker. I'm grateful to know that is Miss Vernell. Will be giving a Holmes talk next week. I love when she does that. She doesn't just give the talk, she embodies it. Her whole body, her whole spirit becomes the instrument. I appreciate that. I'm going to be in Palm Springs giving the Sunday talk up there while Reverend Eunice is out of town. So I'm grateful that Vernell will be behind the pulpit giving that talk. Thank you. Thank you, Vernell. And the new class is starting October 4th. It's called The Essential Ernest Holmes. That's the name of the book as well. It is the beautiful writings of Holmes that take us into a deeper understanding of the teaching and how we can apply it. If you want to be a part of the class, please let me know. I want to kind of keep it small. I'm kind of giving preference to people who are kind of newer and kind of maybe who would be taking the class for the first time, because we've offered this many times. So if you're interested, reach out to me. We'll see if there's still room, because it's getting kind of not full, but it's a small, more intimate class. It's kind of wonderful. And just let me know, and I can help you with that.
Was it the 4th or the 14th?
14th.
Okay.
Yeah, 14th. And it runs for 10 weeks and is offered on a love offering basis. So if you have any questions, let me know. And Shiro Yoga, man, this place was full again yesterday. Every Saturday at 11, it's never too late to join. It's a drop-in thing, whatever works for you. Cassandra Laura, the instructor, is wonderful. And as I keep sharing, so many people from the community are coming in. What is this place? What do you do here? What do you believe? And I love being at the front door, getting to answer them, and for us to know that we're going to be making new friends. And save the date. Our next sound bath will be October 24th. People have been asking, and the girls who put this on, our young sound healers, are excited about coming back. Now you've got the date. We'll put more reminders out there on Facebook. October 24th at 7 p.m. lots of stuff going on, and I'm grateful for that. And a reminder, we have a potluck. I think we can smell it. And let's end our service in celebration by standing up, making a circle, and singing our peace song.
That's
Give me that box.
Enter here.
I have to go that way now.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Repeat after me, please. Something wonderful is happening in my life right now.
Something wonderful is happening in my life right now.
I know it.
I know
I
it.
believe it.
I believe it.
I feel it.
I feel
I
it.
accept it.
I accept it.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
So it is.
So it is.